September 1982, he...
Yeah, nobody lands roles after they make their big break that make them more famous than their big break. Look at fucking Robert Pattinson. Everybody knows him as Edward from Twilight, even though he's had like 20 fucking roles afterwards. Nobody knows who the fuck you are after your big role-defining break.
He learned the truth, that Paramount Studios that made him as famous as Data. Now, in September 1982...
I appreciate that Pattinson hated his role in Twilight, but did it for the fame.
He learned the truth.
That's what I would do.
Paramount Studios sponsored Laurie McBride and encouraged her to rape him, allowing her in the studio even when she had knives, claiming to believe her story that she was a cook.
Final part.
So he came back to the studio later to tell LeVar about his meeting with the executives, and he ran right back into Laurie McBride. She now knew he had signed the contract and felt herself invincible. She was standing outside his studio room door, with her hands behind her back holding a syringe full of drugs, grinning at him. He stepped backward in fright, and she lunged, plunging the syringe into his neck, then threw him into the room. He struggled fiercely, and so she hit him over the head with a frying pan, sending him stumbling into the bed. Then she tied him down with ropes on the bed.
Those hands!
In horror, he watched her undress. The door creaked open again. It was LeVar, and he held his finger to his lips to shush Brent, so Brent wouldn't give away that LeVar was behind Laurie, because she didn't see him. The last thing he remembered was her slowly removing her top, and a split second later, LeVar rushed into the room. But Brent had passed out. When he awakened, still tied to the bed, Laurie and LeVar were gone, but blood was everywhere. I gotta get out of here, he thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she had to have drawn this herself.
He struggled and bit the ropes about his body to free himself and then got up. A pool of blood led from the bed to the door and all the way out into the hallway. He followed the blood all the way outside, to the far back of the studio, fearing the worst. LeVar stood there facing the dumpster. Brent trotted up beside him. What happened? Then Brent looked into the dumpster and saw Laurie McBride. LeVar had killed her.
Oh. Now we're censoring it. We didn't censor the butthole, the elephant rape, the cat rape, the fisting. We didn't censor anything but that.
Between you, me, and this gallon of gasoline, LeVar said, lighting his match to light up a cigarette. He offered Brent a cigarette. Shaking his head in astonishment, Brent refused.
Please,
LeVar
God,
threw
no.
the match into the dumpster, causing the dumpster to erupt into flames. The sound of the flames licking Laurie's body.
I do not want this anywhere near my portfolio. Please give me my $50.
Seeing the sparks fly and feeling the heat from the dumpster. They just stood there watching the flames. To Brent, feeling the heat and seeing the sparks, the surreal became real. The sounds, the crackling, and the sparks leaping from the dumpster against the night sky and the heat from the dumpster reassured Brent that Laurie could torment him or Gale no more. As the night went on, they decided to come back.
Shadman's rates are way too high for us to afford that.
And wait until the blaze finished, roasting marshmallows and singing a few songs while passing around some beer. Brent felt his spirits lift. After that, Brent figured everything would be all right. Just focus on Gale and try to put this behind you, LeVar said. So for a while, Brent did. Brent even joked, with a happy, carefree air, about having sex on an episode on the Joan Rivers show in November. Yes, he thought, he had finally disposed of that devil, and she would never come back. Let's turn all my negative energy into positive energy and just focus on Gale.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know. Okay. This is not the last time we're gonna talk about Gale. This is not the last time we're gonna talk about Gale. I'm gonna call it here as far as I can't take any more of this. I can't do it. I'm so sorry. Oh, look. Brett Spiner's $7.7 million engagement ring.
So much has happened to me in the past couple days, and I'm learning a new computer, so I'm hoping that this goes well. I got an email from Brent, and I also got a package from him.
Oh, it's from Brett.
I need to get my scissors. As I was traveling along, my senses were suddenly pierced by a dank, rancid smell. Coming up on my left was a dark heap of dirty, sun-bleached clothes and stale blankets. Swaddled in the pile was an old homeless man. With one weak arm, the homeless man held out an...
Wait a minute. I know what this is describing. Dark Souls 3. Hermit? What is his name? Yol of Londor. It's fucking Yol of Londor. This is what she's describing. Oh my god.
empty cup, hopelessly shaking it in front of him, as passerbys swept past him like tumbleweeds. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a few bystanders pointing at the homeless man,
Alright, I'm gonna go grab my booze for
turn their
tonight.
heads and quietly gossip about his...
No, but she said it's a man swaddled in dark something and blankets with one weak arm. Yeah. And that's the little cup that he holds out.
unwashed looks and filthy smell. A few others walked
Also, he's
by
probably
grimacing
stinky.
and flashed the man looks of disgust and judgment as they hurried past. Although I may be a president, that's because I made him co-president, my heart has stayed as humble as a missionary. Years of doing free gynecological...
We can't forget that not only is Gail the president of the United States, she's also the empress of the planet Earth.
Work as a medical doctor on Church of Gael, and all of my hard, passionate work earning a PhD at Dallas Theological Seminary were not taken upon me in vain. As onlookers scrunched their noses and covered their mouths in disgust, I approached the homeless man and gently asked, "You look hungry. Would you like something to eat?" The man's eyes lit up briefly before glancing back down at his empty cup. "That should keep you warmer and more comfortable at night." The homeless man smiled. In a shaking old voice he responded, "Thank you, sir. You are an angel in disguise." "You're welcome. I wish you better luck. I'll be praying for you, and I'll have my whole congregation do the same." With that, I tipped my hat,
And the
two of us
congregation,
parted
keep in
ways.
mind, is the
With
Church
the whole
of Gael.
rest of the day ahead of me,
Which is,
I continued my
I'd
stroll
also like
down
to
the
remind
street
you, which is
and
also
headed
her
toward a
orbiting
shopping
spaceship.
plaza. My curious eyes browsed the windows, enjoying all the interesting trinkets and decorations in the shops. My gaze soon came upon a luxury jewelry store. I was eyeing all the beautiful stones and necklaces when a shimmering light glinted among the items
damn it.
and
Okay.
caught my attention.
Alright, I'll be
It was
right
an
back. I gotta
absolutely
go grab the
gorgeous
Malort.
engagement
I finally picked up more Malort.
ring.
Thank you.
As soon as I saw it, it took my breath away. I entered the jewelry
that they
store.
hobo bagged
The
my
dazzle
Malort
of the
for me.
brilliant jewels glittered
Just in case I
around
wanted
me
to
like a
sip it on the
shimmering sea.
train.
All of
You know, because I'm a fucking goblin. Oops. Because I'm a fucking goblin. Alright. I think this will be my first time having the Malort cold. Oh, goodness. And as I was checking out, I was at the liquor store. I was at the Jewel by my work. And, yeah, but I wasn't 21 when I worked at a grocery store. So I didn't do any bagging. I wasn't even allowed to register. I just, made juice. What do you call it? I was checking out at the... And no, I've gotten bottles from the grocery store before, and they haven't bagged it for me. Usually, before they can start bagging anything, I'm like, oh no, I'm just gonna shove this in my backpack. What was I gonna say? um, as I was buying my Malort, the dudes right behind me were buying like a bottle of champagne and some other shit, and they were like, "Oh, don't do that to yourself." And I was like, "Well, it's not me doing this to myself, actually. You see, I'm a Twitch streamer." And they were like, "Oh, okay." Ugh. Take a sip of this first. Ooh, that's not bad. Strawberry cider. Alright. So our goal tonight, we're gonna try to fucking figure out who is sending Gale these emails. We want to find out who is convincing this poor woman with paranoid schizophrenia all of these weird fucking things. So we're gonna be looking through her channel, maybe a couple other people's channels, and I want to go through the Kiwi farms as well. This shot's for you, Gale. Oh yeah, I'll probably come over, not this coming week, but maybe the next week, and we'll look about setting up Kristen's stuff. Cheers. Oh, it's worse cold. Oh, it's so much worse cold. It's like hard to describe why it's worse. Cool. I'll be here.
All of them were beautiful.
This is going to be a long
but
one.
None as beautiful as the one I saw in the window. Just like I knew from that first fan letter that Gale was the one. I knew that ring was the one.
Okay, so at some point in the timeline, Gale sent fan letters to Brett Spiner
to give to her. Approaching the counter, my heart was pounding with excitement. "Excuse me," I asked. "How much is the engagement ring in the window? The bright silver one covered in diamonds and cut like a blossoming sun?"
Brett Spiner is
cut
the
like
dude.
A blossoming sun?
Okay.
The clerk.
This is the dude she's talking about. It's Data from Star Trek. This is Brett Spiner. This is the dude that she is obsessed with. That she claims is her husband. I wonder if we go to his Wikipedia if she's in there. Doesn't even mention her. This is her blog. Brett Spiner, Gale Cord Schuler in film TV. That doesn't seem to be loading. Laurie McBride. Okay. Brett states to me he has adored me since 1990. Jesuits assigned Laurie McBride in 1992 to destroy his love for me. Willing to die for the Jesuit general, her boss. Oh, that book was all about him. That entire fucking sequence with the elephant and everything else, that whole 8 or 6 videos were all about him. He was the main character. Okay. All right. Thank you, Gale. Thank you. Yes. Yes, that is exactly correct, right at yes. She did do that. That sentence that you just typed, she did that, yes.
Looked at me and replied, "Ah, a popular choice. Everyone in the city has been fawning over that ring, but we've
yes.
had no buyers yet. The price is $7.7 million. My heart sank. That's when the harsh reality hit me, and I remembered one of the most important Gale commandments. Thou shalt only spend on food and bills. Crushed,
oh.
I nodded a thank you to the clerk.
Not the Gale commandments.
Gale, but oh, how I loved Jesus. I couldn't bear the
guilt
of spending so much money on a ring to commemorate my love to her while breaking Jesus' heart at the same time.
Oh,
the thought
not
nearly
Jesus'
tore my
heart.
own heart in two. I hung my head. and turned to drag myself out of the store. In that moment, I felt like Abraham sacrificing his son.
I'm
I
sure.
whispered a prayer
Okay.
to Jesus and apologized for almost breaking his commandments and making him cry. Perhaps one day, Gail and I would be able to get married, and I could present her with a ring that beautiful. As I walked through the door, a man in a jacket passed by me and entered the shop. The jacket seemed familiar, so I automatically glanced up to look at him. To my bewilderment, it was the homeless man from earlier.
And
What
he had $7.7 million to give for the
was he
ring.
doing entering such a pricey jewelry store? Out of curiosity, I stayed to watch. The man made his way slowly to the counter. I could hear him mumble something to the clerk, who looked at him with surprise. The one in the window display? The clerk asked with disbelief. That's $7.7 million. The full price is in fact $7,700,700. Are you sure? The homeless man nodded. He then casually reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of $100 bills. He
I'm sorry, how many $100 bills?
flipped through the bills and began stacking them one by one on the counter. The clerk's eyes widened in shock.
No.
When the stack was finished, the homeless man reached into his pocket and grabbed another and another. As he did this, his hands began speeding up to an inhuman pace, like an automatic
okay.
money-counting robot.
He's
The
got an
homeless man
inhuman
piled
pace, that's
stacks
why.
of cash high onto the counter until it
70
created a wall
oh.
of money that nearly towered over the clerk.
And she believes these things. She just takes these on board and is like, yeah, that happened.
Once the homeless man was finished presenting the money, the flabbergasted clerk went around the counter and to the front window, scooping the ring out of the display
insane.
and plunging it into
It's
and
insane.
placing it into a tiny bag for the homeless man. I'm reading this for the first time, folks. Yet the homeless man shook his head, refusing to take the ring he had now purchased. He simply turned, stuffed his hands into his empty pockets, and went to leave the store. As he passed by me, he lifted his head, and with a twinkle in his eyes, he said, "The king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your home. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you cared for me.
I literally fucking knew this was going to happen. He gave the homeless guy a meal and a coffee, and then the homeless guy was like, aha, secretly I was the richest man alive.
Prison,
It was
and you
Mr.
visited
Beast
me.
the whole
I tell you
time.
the truth. When you did it to one of the least of these my brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me. I was in shock. The homeless man was Jesus.
Oh, I was wrong. The homeless man was Jesus. Of course. Of course. It was, why wouldn't it be Jesus? Oh my god.
Well done, my good and faithful
This
servant,
channel
patting
is
me on the
both
back.
a gift
By the
and
way,
a curse.
You have great taste in engagement rings. I couldn't have picked a better one myself. Jesus winked and then walked out of the store, vanished
Keep in mind, Gail is also married to Jesus as well.
into the crowd. My heart leapt to the heavens. With great pride and joy, I went to the counter to collect the ring. This gift
Undercover
had come
Jesus.
in perfect timing for Gail's birthday. I was so excited, I immediately rushed home to show it off to all the men and began preparing it to send to Gail.
When he says all the men, he means the other 70 men that Gail is also married to. So she's married to... she's married to Brett Spiner, and she's married to Jesus, and she's married to Hugh Jackman, and she's married to 70 other men.
I was so proud of the new ring I could finally present to the love of my life. I will formally say it now, and again when we see each other in person, for all of the world to hear. Gail Cord Schuler, will you marry me? Oh, your husband in God's eyes, Brett Spider. Brett, I already consider us married, of course. What do you think? That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Let me go ahead and open this. You silly. You know I'd marry you. I offered you my hand in marriage in December '99.
Oh my god.
I've been waiting for you since then. You think And then I've been committed to him since.
This
I'm
was...
opening it up.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Lori's making me cough. Oh, by the way, my Gale Shield is
Gale
going
Shield.
crazy right now.
My Gale Shield is
Yeah, let me
going
show this to you.
crazy right now.
You see that?
Ma'am, that's
It's
a
been
wire...
lit up since about 6:30
That's a
this morning,
wireless
about
router?
12:02 p.m. I can go in there and type music on it. I told it to get Lori out of my life permanently. She's making me cough.
You see how she's so much like Chris Chan? Hi, Marcel. Welcome to the stream. Or wait, is that Marcella? Is that Marcella from the group chat? Welcome to the stream, buddy.
Now, she's apparently up on this. Goodness!
Yay!
All right.
Oh, come on in. We're looking at a woman who thinks that...
I am really, this is going to be a gorgeous ring. I already know that.
Oh, we're
And this is
looking
the
at a
necklace
woman
he
who
got me, and
thinks
these
a
are the
lot
earrings
of
he got me.
things,
This is
honestly.
beautiful
She's got a lot of
jewelry.
opinions. She's got a lot of... you know,
I've always
honestly,
considered us already
where
married.
do you start?
It's in here.
One, she thinks the dude who
Fever.
played Data on
Let's go.
Star Trek just asked her to marry
I wonder what my
her.
Gale Shield's doing.
She also thinks that a router to her right is a force field generator.
Okay, now we're here.
Okay, great.
I'm going to make a separate video. I'm
Nice.
actually filming this from my new computer. Oh, here it is. Jewelry of quality. Ah.
Jewelry of quality, $7.7 million.
But how do you know if it's my ring size?
Damn.
It'll be special to me whether.
It's okay. You'll find somebody taller than Hugh Jackman.
Maybe I'll have to get fat to wear it. It looks like it might be a little big. There's stuff that I can use though to make it work.
You can
I'm
get a
wrapping
ring
it.
sized.
It's really wrapped well. Oh, that is pretty.
There we go.
Look at that. See that?
There it is.
It's not silver though. It's kind of like a goldish color, but it's very pretty. See that? See, this would be a little bigger. A little
$7.7
bit
million.
big, but there are ways to handle this. I actually have something that I can use.
I think what actually happened is the person who is pretending to be Brett Spiner and emailing her all of these stories and stuff bought a like $50 cubic zirconium ring at a mall for this video.
That is very pretty. I have something that I can use though. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Like, these are not... Oh, man. I feel so bad for her, honestly. I feel really bad for her because she's just a woman with mental issues that the internet has been fucking with
You can
for
admire
like
that
20
beautiful painting
years.
that I got, which I hear is worth like thousands of dollars.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This borderline furry porn in the background is worth thousands of dollars.
I think I've got something that I can use.
Oh, Gail.
It is very beautiful. Wow, this thing's worth. Those are all diamonds, huh? Beautiful. Yeah, it does kind of look. It's actually kind of golden color, but it's pretty though. Let me see. Where is that, Jesus? I've got these little things I can use when the ring's too big. A little too big for my finger. Maybe it's
Is
in
it
my
like-
box. Hold on.
Oh, no. She's getting another box.
Here they are.
Okay.
Just get one of these out.
She's gonna put on like a little band-aid or
Put
something.
this on the bottom part right here, and then it'll fit. Yeah, one of these things. There we go. See?
Ah, as seen on TV.
That works a little bit better. Actually, even I have a small bone structure, but that is very pretty. You know what? I bet I can put another one on there.
Okay, Gail. Thank you. I'm sure. Okay,
have
here's
small
the
bones.
close-up.
That's why I
Here's
like
the
it.
close-up.
Very pretty. Yeah.
With Gail, you kind of got to know when to fast forward through her content, because we watched her like complain about a leak in her like air conditioner for like 15 minutes the other day. So
Silly. I'm gonna let you look at it with this camera because this camera's got better resolution. Isn't that beautiful?
okay, that is a very
Oh,
pretty
that's
ring, Gail, but that's
beautiful.
not a $7.7 million
Yeah.
engagement ring.
That is a beautiful
That
ring.
is quite obviously not a diamond.
Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
Big e-girl energy.
That is a beautiful
She's the
ring,
only
my dear.
60-year-old e-girl.
You can see how that's beautiful. Yeah, I've been wanting to marry Brent ever since 1992 or 91
Wait.
when I found out he
Wait,
made old Yellow
focus.
Eyes back for me. So here I am at almost 64, and I finally get my ring from him.
No way. That's
Isn't
got to
that
be cubic.
beautiful? Huh? That's very nice. But you know, even if I never did get a ring, Brent, I would wait for you forever because you're just such a just such an awesome guy.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, wait. Ah, damn it. We missed it. There's like one good frame. Okay. This frame backs up my claim that this is not a diamond. This looks very glass-like. Also, keep in mind, I'm like a huge fucking rock and crystal and gemstone nerd, and I actually like... I watch videos of gem cutters all the time. But no, I do not believe that that was actually a diamond. That's too expensive for a LARP.